Good afternoon, class. I just finished grading the Module 2 analysis assignment, which had you doing those two different simulations. The one simulation from a normally distributed population, where your sample size is kept increasing, and the goal is to kind of see what happens with your distribution as you increase the sample size. And then the second one was from a uniformly distributed population, and the goal is to look at the proportion and say, what's going to happen to the proportion of ones, in this case, or left-handed people, as we increase the sample size. I'll talk a little bit more about it after I grade the late pass assignments in a couple days. So in 2 days, I'll send a little more clarification out about that. But I want to talk about simulations for two purposes. First of all is when you're doing a simulation like this, the beauty of it is that it's automated. And so you can redo it really simply just by hitting a button. And we can redo it, and so we can pick a brand new sample. So the beauty of this is to see if the sample you happen to get your first time through was wacky, to see if it was just out of place. And so you can redo the sample a few times and see what the trend is. And then increase the sample size and try it a few more times to kind of see what the trend is. So this should really help you out as we move forward. We'll be doing this a few more times where we look at simulations within these analysis assignments. And don't just automatically say, I have to take my first one and that's it. You can go ahead and run it a few times and just see, all right, what's happening when I run this over and over and over again? What do I notice with this sample size? Now, the other thing I want to point out about it is that this tool, the simulation tool, is useful in a lot of areas, not just when I require it out of you. So there's going to be times later on in the course that we're talking about probabilities. And you can use this idea of simulations to run something a bunch of times when you get a probability that's really small, for instance. You can say, all right, a really small probability means the event will not happen very frequently. So you can run a simulation of this event over and over and over again and make sure that the event doesn't happen. And say, all right, well, maybe this is true. And we'll run into this a few different times, but just keep in mind it's a tool in your toolbox to help you understand things. That's the goal of a simulation, is to say, I can look at something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because with technology, it's easy to just hit enter, 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 and just redo this over and over and over again. So keep this in your back pocket, use it when necessary, and if you weren't able to complete the assignment, use your late pass and complete it. Make sure to ask for help. Just as I've said a couple times through announcements, just when you're asking for help, try to be as specific as possible. When it comes to an analysis assignment, if you just say, I don't get it, it's really hard for me to help you, especially via email, because these analysis assignments are big. They're as big as a problem set. And so for me to try to help you with that broad of a question is very challenging. But if you can say something like, hey, I was able to get this far in it, I don't know what to do, or I don't even know how to create this random number, I can point you in the right direction. Okay, so have yourselves a wonderful day, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out.